Oh, hi there. Yeah, this is a different format that I'm probably gonna stay with, so if you like my animations, then expect to not see them as much. Anyways, Wolfenstein 3D is honestly one of my favorite retro games out there. It's really fast-paced, and it's just overall pretty fun to play. Now, let's say you're an average player and you decide to play the first 3 episodes of Wolfenstein 3D. It's probably gonna take you around an hour to beat, let's say that. And while that does seem like a decent time length for a 1992 game, oh boy, you have not seen all of it. It goes so much further than that. See, you have your base game, Wolfenstein 3D, and then you have episodes 4 to 6, which is called the Nocturnal Missions, and it's a prequel to Wolfenstein 3D. But then you have another game called Spear of Destiny, which is another prequel, but it's a separate release. Then you have the expansion packs to Wolfenstein 3D Spear of Destiny. However, those are also prequels, and they were released as separate games, so they also count as separate prequels, meaning there is a total of 4 prequels for one game. What? So after I thought about all of that, I decided, hey, you know what would be interesting? What if I played all of that? What if I played every single prequel? Yeah, that took a while. But before I discuss all of these prequels, I have to set some ground rules first. Number 1, I'm playing this on the easiest difficulty. Why? 1, I'm not good at this game. And 2, I want to have a good time when making this. I don't want to play Death Incarnate to have, like, the worst time ever. 2, I'm playing this on Easy Wolf and not the original DOS version. Mainly because it's the best way to play, and also because it's for free. Also, EC Wolf features every game that I'm playing, so, pretty useful. Oh, and 3, no save states, unless I get really pissed off at this. Alright, so let's start off with the Nocturnal Missions, starting with this episode, along with episode 6, were actually one of the few episodes I haven't finished from this game. I finished all of the base game, and as well as episode 5, but never finished these ones. I forget how, though. Either way, E4M1 is just a massive maze to get to the golden key, and then that's pretty much it, honestly. Yeah, there was also this room, but once again, I didn't have much issues with it. It took me like under a minute to do. It's kind of weird that both M1 and M2 have an outside view with grass at the bottom, even though we're at a higher floor. By the way, I've always liked how this stage looked. I just really like the blue ceiling mixed with the blue walls. It just has a cool outside interior. Anyways, the level itself, it's memorable for me, but it didn't take too long. I'll always remember this map because of this specific room. Look at all the treasure there, but I have no idea how to get there. I still don't. This level has a lot of doors. That's all I really have to say to it. E4M4 has this entire room with a bunch of Hitler posters, and it's kind of eerie looking. I don't like it. And also, just like map 3, there's a lot of doors. I'm starting to notice a pattern. E4M5. Okay, hold on. Switch the music. F this map. When I first played episode 4 as a kid, this was the level that I got stuck on. And thankfully I managed to beat it this time, but Jesus Christ, it still took a long time. Now, when you first play this level, it doesn't seem too bad. Sure, it's pretty big, but it doesn't seem too off guard. But there's one problem. How do you get the key door to activate? Now, there is the silver key right here. However, when you use it on the key door, it doesn't work. So, where's the gold key? Well, of course you get it by opening up a secret wall, which looks the exact same as all the other ones. Then opening up another secret wall so that you can get the golden key. What? I mean, yeah, the chain gun does kind of give you a hint of where it could be, but it also doesn't because you can't see it at all. Oh, and also to make the situation even better, there are 2 fake exits that show up, which has barrels in the middle of them, so you can't use them. Thanks for the false hope, dammit. Overall, this took me 12 minutes to beat. This singular level. 12 minutes. And they expect you to beat this in 4 minutes 30? Hell no. Okay, thank God we're at that level. Let's keep going. E4M6 has a lot of hallways. And I mean a lot of them. They also have even more branching paths that lead pretty much nowhere most of the time. Thankfully, it didn't take too long to find the proper path, but it still took a lot of doors. Eventually, after what felt like a century, I managed to find the key door and was able to continue the level. I found this room with 2 SS officers as well as a machine gun, which doesn't make sense because if you kill the SS officer, then you get the machine gun. So, what's the point of having it there? I don't know. You see, coming up with descriptions for levels that are pretty boring is pretty difficult, so just thinking of something that I remember from this level is good enough, I guess. E4M8 starts up with this big line full of ammo pickups, probably because of the amount of enemies that spawned at the beginning. Granted, I'm on the easiest difficulty, so it wasn't that intense. Oh yeah, I was also stuck on this part of the stage for longer than I'd like to admit, I'll be honest. Also, just a little side note, I feel like every single area in Wolfenstein 3D that has this specific wall texture, I'm most likely gonna get stuck in, so not having high hopes. Oh yeah, there's also this really big elevator. I like it. We now move on to the first boss of the Nocturne missions. But first we have this guard with 2 keys right next to him, so I guess let's just shoot him, and yep, that's a few officers, and that's literally the easiest difficulty. Somehow it didn't wake up the soldier though, so that's cool. You don't actually need the keys to defeat the boss, they're just there for extra health if you need it. Anyways, about the boss, Otto Giftmacher? I think that's his name, I don't know. He's one of the few characters in the entire game to not be a hit scanner, and instead uses a rocket launcher to shoot you, which is pretty impressive for the engine. I especially like the smoke that comes off from the rocket launchers. It's a nice touch for such a simple game. Once you kill him, you get to see the death cam from episode 2 and episode 3, which is always nice to see. The twisted scientist behind the chemical war lies at your feet, but the fruits of his labor grow elsewhere. The first wave of chemical war is already underway. In the heavily guarded fortress of Erlangen are the plans for the upcoming Giftkirk or Poison War. Find them and you'll know where to find General Feckenstein, leader of the deadly assault. And that's it for episode 4. Except it's not, because I didn't actually play the secret level. What is that one again? Well, I mean, the map doesn't seem too bad. How does the gameplay look? Okay, yeah, screw that. Overall, while episode 4 is not the worst in the game, it definitely has some of the lowest lows in the game. I'm looking at you, map 5, and also map 10. I didn't even play you, but I already know you were gonna suck. There were some positives, but the cons outweigh them, so not a good start. Hopefully things can get improved on with. Now, I actually remember this being one of my favorites when I was little, probably because it was the easiest one in my opinion. And E5M1 definitely helps with this assumption as it's a very simple level, but I still like it. Also, this blue skull wall thing, whatever it is, I don't care. It looks really nice in my opinion. There's also the final area where you have to either choose the red path or the blue path, with the blue path being the winner to the exit. E5M2 is definitely most known for that one room with all the SS guards behind the barrels and they start shooting you and, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, that's the most well-known part about this level. And yet, it doesn't even give you anything special, so that's not great. You know, I'm starting to see a pattern with these episode 5 levels. You see the key door pretty early on, and then you go on this long path in order to get to the key, and then you backtrack all the way back. It's been like that for the past 3 levels, so yeah, not doing much different recently. Although this level has a lot more massive rooms for a lot of enemies instead of like the previous ones where they're a lot more linear. Also, you have to use the second key, or the silver key, in order to finish the level and not the first key, the golden key. It's not explained why, and I don't think there is a gold key in this level. It's just something they wanted to do, I guess. Now, I actually like the way E5M4 is done. It's basically just one giant area that repeats itself on each side. It feels like it's looping around in some cases. It's pretty cool, honestly. However, there is one specific area that has one of the keys that you need, so it's not just, you know, this exact same thing all the time. It's pretty close though, and at least it's somewhat different from the previous 3 levels with basically the exact same gameplay. And I will say, this is one of the first episodes on the list that genuinely made me explore the level completely, and that's pretty good. Honestly, I couldn't think of anything for this level other than the fact that it got me close to dying for the first time. Granted, it was close, but still. E5M6 has some massive hallways. Like, look at how much space there is compared to there being like 2 enemies. This floor also did take me a while to complete, I'll be honest, but yeah, I don't remember enough to care. The level's decent, okay? Let's move on. Just like E5M6, this features a lot of big hallways, but it also features a lot of doors. Yeah, we're bringing this back again. I feel like since I'm at map 7 already and I've talked this little about the episode, what have I've only talked about this for like 2 minutes or something. Yeah, there's not much to talk about. These levels are very basic, but very simple, not too difficult, and straight to the point. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of prefer this a lot more. But let's not jump to conclusions yet. This map's big, but it's just whatever. Also, it seems like I either beat these levels way too fast or just take way too long to finish something that's kind of easy to figure out. I like how you can get a peek of what the exit looks like. It's a nice touch. It doesn't do anything, but it just looks cool, honestly. Yeah, I don't have anything for this level. Alright, here we are at the final level. Yeah, that was really quick. And here we meet Gretel Grosse, who is actually the sister of the first boss, Hans Gross. She is also the only female character in this entire game. However, something funny I would like to mention is that this version of the character is actually a reskin of the common enemy version of Hans Grosse. No, not the boss version, the enemy version. Which basically means she has less accuracy and I believe has lower health. I'm not sure, but basically she's weaker. So that's funny. Also, I have no idea how I did it, but when I went to the ending cutscene, this happened. My assumption for what happened is that the character got clipped into like some collision or something. I'm not sure. Either way, it soft-locked the game. And also, the animation just randomly stopped happening. I don't know. I had to actually end my game so that it would actually get out of this soft lock. But because of that, I did not get to see the ending. But then I remembered Google Images was a thing, so I just went on there. Gretel Grosse, the giantess guard, has fallen. Hope her brother Hans doesn't get mad about this. Now rush to the military installation at Offbench and stop the horrible attack before thousands die under the deadly, burning clouds of chemical war. Only you can do it, BJ. Go to General Fetkin's sights before he begins the mad plans of pain and destruction. So overall, episode 5 was very quick to talk about. It was very simple, but I like it because of that. It's very easy to learn, and honestly, I think it should be the second episode to Wolfenstein 3D. Episode 1 is still easier, but episode 5 is a close second, and I feel like it could be a good way to begin learning how to use the keys and stuff like that. So yeah, while being basic as hell, it's straight to the point, and I like it because of that. A decent one, and oh boy, it's time for, oh wait, no, there's one more thing, the secret level. Oh wait, I don't care for them. Like, I really don't. Now, people call this the worst episode out of the 6, and I haven't played this in a long time, so I guess I can find out for myself then. However, I occurred a minor problem when recording footage for this episode. Okay, so I was gonna film the footage for episode 6, and I did do that, but when I finished it, it turned out to look like this. Just 42 minutes of nothing. What? So yeah, the game didn't record my footage. So I just had 42 minutes of a blank screen with a white line across it. So yeah, that wasn't fun. However, I had 2 choices for what I should do. I could take footage from someone else and credit them, or I could just do it all over again. Yeah, I did it all over again. E6M1 is another one of those maps that shows you the exit immediately, but you're gonna have to wait to get there because of this. This whole hallway section is really annoying because you're always expecting there to be a guard, and most of the time, there isn't. But then the times that you're not expecting it, whoa, there's a guard right there, and it just makes me tired about this. Thankfully, the level itself isn't actually that long. It's just like 3 hallways and then just this big area with a bunch of soldiers. But it's still tiring, and yeah, not a great start at all. This map's pretty bad. Although I do like to say I like this detail of the key coming out of the little hole from the wall. That's pretty cool. It doesn't do anything, but it's whatever. E6M2 immediately gives you a machine gun, so that's thoughtful. Also, I do like the idea of exploring the level until you make it to the very middle. That's a cool concept, and it's still boring. The level's mainly just running around, occasionally finding soldiers, and then just finding a door, getting closer into the middle, and that's pretty much it. I get that I'm on the easiest difficulty, so there's not as many enemies as it normally would be, but yeah, not that great. I don't know if it's just me, but I always seem to get lost in this level at some point. It's just a habit of mine, I guess. Also, during this level I had to eat supper. It was good. I had shepherd's pie. Anyways, back to the level. I find it kind of cool whenever you're in like a certain room. If you just shoot once, then everyone in that room, it doesn't matter how far they are, they will hear you, and you just get to see them all moving in and stuff like that. It looks cool. Also, there's this one secret in the brick area that I just happen to know every time. I don't know, it's just something I've done multiple times on accident, probably. Also, I'm pretty sure this floor leads to the secret floor, which is commonly hated by a lot of people, but I didn't know how to get the golden key, so I just didn't do it. I'll give you a brief summary of what the level is. The mutants are back right after episode 2, which is a long time, and also they never reappear after that secret level. And also, Hans Grosse is back, although it is a weaker version, so it's not as bad, but it's still Hans Grosse, you know, the first boss. And there's 4 of them. Oh, and I should mention another thing. You know the secret level for episode 3 where it's based off of Pac-Man? Well, Blinky from that level also comes in this secret level, and if you let him loose, then he'll go throughout the entire map chasing you, and it's good god. We get a new wall texture in this level, which we haven't gotten in a while, and it looks like Donald Trump's skin. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to my head. Other than that, it's a pretty simple level. I mean, the ending's a bit hard to figure out where to go, but I got it in the end. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't have anything for this level other than it's pretty quick and also very simple to play. That's not even a joke, I literally can't think of anything other than it's a basic level with a very easy understanding of how to win. And the game really thought it would take me 5 minutes to beat this level. Absolutely not. Thankfully, we get to another level that I actually think is not that bad. There's a lot of guards and dogs. I believe those are the main enemies for this level. And it's also a lot of branching paths, and it's cool. It's not excessive, but it's not too little. It's nice. Also, I feel like this level can't decide on which wall texture it wants to use as its main texture. I feel like there's like 7 textures in this one level, despite it being pretty small, all things considered. E6M7, oh boy, I definitely have some memories with you when I was younger. Still, despite it being not the best, it's one of the best maps in this episode, which just shows how much of these maps I don't like. Nowadays, this level isn't too bad for me. It still sucks, but it's not terrible. However, when I was little, this level took me, I'm not kidding, 45 minutes to beat. And you wanna know why? It wasn't because of the maze. It wasn't because of that. It took maybe like 5 minutes to figure that out when I was younger. The reason why it took that long was because of the silver key. I had no idea how to get to it, because I saw it was right there, but I didn't know how to get there. It took me so long to figure out that I just needed to use a push wall. Now, at this point throughout the game, I believe you hadn't had to use a single push wall in order to complete a stage. The push walls were mainly just secrets or bonus stuff, but this was the first time it was required, and I didn't know that was a feature, so I was just stuck forever on this level trying to figure out ways to get to the blue key. And now that I know how to do it, I just feel so ashamed of myself. But now that I know how to actually get the key, yes, the maze is definitely the worst part. It is so confusing, and I literally had to use my auto map just to see where I was going and what paths I hadn't gone to yet. That's not a good map design. Also, remember all the way back when I was talking about episode 4 and how I would usually get stuck in areas with this specific texture? Well, I wasn't lying. I got stuck on this for a while, and yeah, it was that specific texture for the walls. Haha, funny coincidence. No, this is no coincidence. Shut up. However, thankfully, E6M8 is a lot easier and a lot more calm for me. It's pretty satisfying to play, honestly. I like the long hallways and stuff like that. Getting to the key is a bit long, but it's okay. It's a decent map, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Whew, here we are at the final level of Wolfenstein 3D. Unfortunately for me, I still have to play Spirit Destiny and the expansion, so I should not be preparing to be done. Also, I would like to mention that I did not have a chain gun in episode 6 at all, up until the boss battle, simply because I knew about the secret that led to a chain gun, so thank God I found one. Anyways, before we fight the boss, there's this big section full of enemies and, you know, a lot of treasure. Like, a lot of treasure. And also, there's 2 sides, and each side has a secret in it, so if you want both the secrets, then do that then, I guess. Here we meet the most interesting boss of the game mechanically. Mecha Hitler is still the best one, but this one is very interesting, and I like how it plays. General Fekkin's fat dude has 2 different weapons. He first attacks you with his rocket launcher, and then shoots a few bullets out of his chain gun, which I think that's pretty interesting. It balances out strafing away from him, but also strafing too far away is bad for you. Also, I'd like to mention that there's officers fighting you while you're in the boss battle, and because of this, I actually died to him. That was not the best, but once I came back to kick his ass, I eventually beat him, and finally finished Wolfenstein 3D. But I'm only like halfway done, so yeah. The general gasps his last breath, and the free world is saved from the terrifying Nazi chemical war. You return to Allied headquarters, a medal of honor waiting for you. Allied command informs you of some nefarious activities around Castle Hollowhammer. Something about the gray-skinned Berserk soldier. There you go, that's episode 6. Honestly, not as terrible as I remember it being. Probably because I know a lot more about the game than I last played, but it's not as terrible as I remembered it being. I think it might be tied for episode 4, because it's similar to episode 4, where it has a lot of cons, but the pros are there, and they're pretty good pros, but the cons definitely outweigh them in a lot of situations. Now, remember when I said that if you beat episode 1 to 3 all in one sitting, it would probably take around an hour. Well, let's add on to that timer. So, episode 4 took 30 minutes to complete, almost 31, but I'm just gonna say 30. Episode 5 took, well, I don't know because I never saw the ending, but let's say it took about 22 minutes. And episode 6 took 25. So, 30 minutes plus 25 minutes plus 22 minutes equals an hour and 17 minutes of gameplay. And adding the extra hour makes it 2 hours and 17 minutes. That's a lot of gameplay for 1992. And that's Wolfenstein 3D. So now it's time to move on to separate games, starting with Now, Spirit Destiny doesn't have separate episodes. It's one massive run full of 18 levels. It's also technically 20 levels if you count the 2 secrets. Yes, there's now 2 secret levels. So yeah, I'm pretty much playing 2 episodes in one run, so that's not fun. But just because it's one massive run doesn't mean there's only one boss. Let's show how it works. So, on level 5, you get to see your first boss. On level 10, you get to see the next boss. So you're assuming, okay, it's like level 15 probably. Nope, it's level 16. And then level 18, you actually get 2 bosses. One final boss before you get to the final boss. Yeah. Anyways, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's actually talk about Spirit Destiny's levels. And level 1 is pretty similar to level 1 in Wolfenstein 3D. It's very simple, and if you know where you're going, it can be beaten in like a few seconds, but it's not that bad. I like it. I definitely like the aesthetic of what Spirit Destiny is going for us. I especially like this vine segment. It looks really nice. It doesn't serve any purpose other than visually, but it looks cool. Level 2 is our first introduction in Spirit Destiny specifically to the more maze-like levels, and this is quite a difficulty curve, honestly. Now, I don't mean difficult as it's harder to beat, it's just more confusing than anything. There's a lot of branching paths, which was quite the opposite of level 1, and a lot of doors, and a lot of areas that just feel the exact same. And by many, I mean 3, but that's still most of what the map is. A lot of the areas in this map just lead nowhere, and it's just kind of annoying, honestly, than anything. I feel like a lot of people that play Spirit Destiny that aren't trying to seriously beat it, play the first level, think it's not too bad, and then play the second, and then immediately give up because of how confusing it is, which is not great. Now, before we move on, I'd like to mention that this level actually introduces a new item, which is basically just the ammo pickup, but I believe it picks you like 20 pieces of ammo or something? I'm not sure. Basically, it's a huge help for boss fights, so I'm really glad it exists. Oh, and one more thing, can you please subscribe? This is a new format for me, and I'm having a lot of fun trying this out, and if you like it, then yeah, subscribe. Also, you've watched me complain about Wolf 3D for 27 minutes, so there's either something wrong with you or you like this type of content, so hey, that's something. Oh yeah, I didn't mention this, but now for Spirit Destiny, every level starts off with you inside the elevator, which is a pretty cool touch. I like that. Oh, and also this level gives you the chain gun like immediately, so that's going to be very useful. Once again, we're coming back to the style of levels where there's just a bunch of doors and a bunch of branching paths, which is not the best for me. And I haven't used the auto map that much at this point, but don't worry, I'll be using it a lot. We're just not at that point yet, but trust me, we will. Oh boy, we will. Either way, not much else to be said. I feel like that's gonna be a common occurrence with these levels. You know, this level kind of reminds me of E1M4 in a lot of ways. I don't know, it's weird. Also, I kind of blanked out when rewatching this just to see if I had anything extra to say. It's like 12 a.m. in the morning, so yeah, I should be sleeping, but nope, I'm working on a video because that's just how YouTube works. I don't think I've mentioned it either, but I like this specific wall texture on screen. It just looks nice. Also, I believe that's the 3rd time I've made an entire line based off of a texture looking good, so very creative, I know, am I right? Anyways, this level has a lot of big hallways. It has a lot of big rooms for like no necessary reason. Like I said, I'm on the easiest difficulty, so maybe they're meant to be, you know, filled with enemies, but nope. There's probably like 3 enemies at the most in one of these rooms. Here we meet our first boss of Spirit Destiny, and this is a pretty interesting. Grosse, the 3rd and final member of the Grosse family, and also the youngest. Also, he's technically the first one we kill if we're doing the plot in chronological order, but also no. Also, Trans kinda does look like BJ himself. Also, I believe Grosse is the first boss that we've mentioned at least to have scaling health throughout every single difficulty. Starting off with 850 health at the beginning and 1200 at the highest difficulty, I believe. I think the middle difficulties are either 900 or 1050 or something, I don't know. Also, I've realized this, but yes, I've talked longer about this stage than the actual stage itself, so that's kind of funny. Don't really have anything else to say, but Transgrosse's green outfit's cool. At one point, I found what I thought was the exit, but it turned out to just be the entrance. It kind of sucks that the elevators are openable now, so it's gonna happen to me a few times. Trust me, it will. Also, there's this really long pathway at one point of the level, and like, I swear, it took me like a whole 10 seconds to get across it, and I was sprinting the whole time. Like, I'm still talking, and it's still going. When is this gonna end? Oh, there's an officer, but like, okay, there we go, it ended, but that is incredibly long.
That's what she said.
Aw, you motherfucker. I found this room with 6 machine guns in it. I don't know why, but sure.
Literally, just why not? It's Spirit Destiny. You can't think of anything original, so just put them.
Level 7. I literally got nothing. I was genuinely confused. Oh my god. When I got to the end of this level, I was genuinely confused as to where I was meant to go, only to find out that I needed to activate a secret push wall in the same room as the exit. So, not exactly the smartest. So, since I don't have anything else to talk about for this level, I want to discuss the music, because for the first Wolfenstein 3D game, it's, decent in my opinion. There's some pretty good tracks, but most of it's just kind of boring. But Spirit Destiny has some new tracks, and honestly, some of them are pretty big bops, especially this one playing right now. I don't even remember what level it's from. It's just a pretty nice bop and very jazzy. I wonder why.
This was my reaction to figuring out the level.
Oh. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, okay. I gotta say, there's a lot of skulls to start off this level. Like, why is there so many of them? Also, this level has a lot of opened up areas, but not too many doors either, and I actually really like this style of level. I think it would be nice if there were more of these. So far, Spirit Destiny, in my opinion, is kind of like Episode 5 from the Nocturnal missions. It's simple, it's boring, but I kind of like it like that. It's pretty easy to play, so far at least, although there are a few stinkers. And this recent level, I actually like quite a bit. It's pretty cool, so maybe Spirit Destiny isn't actually that bad as people say. Well, I mean, people don't say it's bad, people mostly just say it's boring. Here we are at the second boss, and when I immediately heard that boss music, I immediately got that chain gun out. However, before we actually fight the boss, there's a lot in this level already. It's a decently sized map. It's pretty small, but it could just be a normal level. But either way, after we go to the key doors, we meet our second boss, Barnacle Willem. yeah, his name's Barnacle Willem, and he looks like a Roblox character. That's great design, bro. Anyways, just like General Fekisized, I think that's his name, I don't even remember. He holds a rocket launcher and a chain gun, so you have to worry about both of them. Just like Transgrosse and all the other bosses, except for the final boss, all the enemies drop keys because they're not dedicated bosses. They're just, you know, big guys. Level 11, we're now halfway through this game, and so far it's been decent. Anyways, I can definitely tell that this level you're meant to get lost in a lot, because this first portion uses the exact same texture throughout the entirety of it, but once you figure it out, it's not as bad since it gives you a new texture wall, so that's good. Oh, and while I was playing Spirit Destiny, me and my dad were also watching the new Total Drama season, and he started playing an episode without me, so I had to pause the game. So my footage is just 22 minutes of nothing. I was watching episode 5, and I won't tell you anything else. I'm not going to spoil it for you. This level has a lot of enemies behind barrels, and it kind of gives me a Western kind of vibe, even though this doesn't look Western at all. Also, I can't remember if this was the first stage to do it, or if I just didn't mention it, but the mutants are back now, and at least I'm playing on the lowest difficulty and not the hardest, because if I did, then I would have quit the game. I probably wouldn't, but I'd get close. This level's kind of a mixture of a lot of things. Big rooms, long hallways, mazes, and branching paths, and I actually think this works really well for this level. I like it a lot, actually. And yes, the mutants are kind of annoying in this level. There are quite a few, but it didn't exactly kill me. I got close at some points, but not fully. Also, despite there being many different wall textures throughout the level, I think all of them do kind of mix together pretty well, and I like them all together. It's a nice touch. I don't get how it works, but it did. This map gets a thumbs up. It's good. Branching past the level, I don't have anything else. It's fine. Although this part definitely caught me off guard, and I actually thought it was kind of funny. It's neat, but that's the best part of this level. Level 15. I thought this was originally a boss level when I first played it, but it did caught me off guard when I realized the music wasn't the boss music. This first part of the level is kind of annoying because there's mutants on both sides and you can't exactly reach over to them because of this fountain in the way, so... Oh wow, that's a big elevator. It seems like the Spear of Destiny bosses really want you to actually get there first before you face off the boss, by making these levels decently long, like a normal level, which I actually think is a pretty good idea, making you work your way up until you get the key, and then you can fight the boss and whatever. I think that's cool. And the boss itself is actually really cool as well, Uber Mutant. No, he does not pull up in a taxi so he can kill you, he's just big. Uber, I guess, is another word for big, sure. Also, while he never uses them, he has 4 kitchen knives for some reason. It would have been cool if he used those as projectiles and you had to dodge all 4 of them or something. It would have been cool, but no, it's just for display, I guess. Just like every boss we've talked about, he drops a key on death, same as the first, whatever. Let's just move. I feel like I wasn't meant to finish this level as fast as I did. I managed to beat it in just over a minute, and the par time was 6. So I think I might have sped through it a bit much, but I don't care. I'm at the second last level. I just want to get this over with because I still have to beat 2 more games, so that's... I feel like this level is meant to be kind of like a story kind of level where you see like environmental changes or whatever. I don't really care. The last level is right here. Here we are at the final level, and probably the most unique out of all of them. It has 2 bosses this time, and it's cool. First, we fight the Death Knight, who has a really cool design in my opinion. I really like his mech suit. He, just like every other boss, drops a key when you kill him. However, what is most interesting is what is inside the locked door. Also, I didn't mention this, but Death Knight shoots a rocket launcher through his chest. Anyways, after collecting what is called the Spear of Destiny... Oh! Okay, that's creative, I get it. How did I not get... Okay, anyways, after collecting the Spear of Destiny, the entire map changes to this evil... You're basically in hell, and that's really cool looking in my opinion. And now there's a bunch of ghosts flying around, and oh my god, is that a Pinky from Doom? Well, no, he's actually called the Angel of Death. Yeah, fitting name, am I right? He shoots a bunch of green fireballs at you and stuff like that, and while yes, he's really cool, he's probably the easiest boss in this game because of one thing. Basically, after a while of firing, he'll just stop and he'll be stunned like this, and you can just kill him like that. And just like that, Spear of Destiny is finally over. BJ, are you okay? Oh, no, he's fine. You were found by Allied forces on a grassy hill a distance from the smoking remains of Castle Nuremberg. The spear clutched in your wounded hands. A thin, wispy smoke rose off your still body. The grass beneath you appeared burned by fire. In the elite hospital, you tell no one of your frightening final battle with the Angel of Death, lest they think you're mad. But you still bear the scars of the great foes of the castle, dark and deadly, starkly vivid in your memory, all fighting to defend the holy relic to keep Hitler's twisted dream alive. With the spear gone, the Third Reich will fall. May it never rise again. And the rest of the story talks about BJ being good and being to visit the government or whatever. It's cool. I've heard a lot of people talk about the fact that Spear of Destiny is just Wolfenstein 3D, but kind of just boring more than anything. But I genuinely liked this game quite a bit. I thought it had some pretty good levels, some pretty cool bosses as well, and overall, yeah, I would play this again. Maybe, I don't know. I was very pleasant to play through Spear of Destiny for the first time, and I'm definitely happy that I tried it out. Maybe the extra missions could be even better? Well, let's find out with... Okay, before we even start this, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. This expansion sucks. Remember me having high hopes for this expansion? Well, get those high hopes out of the window, dude. First, let me mention the pros. This mission, along with the third, has an entirely different palette to it. Pretty much every sprite has changed in this game. All of the enemies, the weapons, the items you can get, the doors, a bunch of new textures. It's a lot of effort, and I'm really happy that they did that. Something I can tell that they didn't put much effort into was the levels, because, jeez, these levels, man. While this level doesn't have much to talk about, it's pretty simple for a first level. It has a mouse right over here, which leads into a secret. Basically, the mouse tells you that there is a secret right next to you. So, yeah, it's basically an indicator that, hey, you should push some walls or something, which is a very good indicator for some of these levels, because, good God, you're gonna need them. This level has this really nice wall texture that I think is probably one of the best wall textures I've seen in this game, and I just really like the contrast between the pink, purple, and blue. It's just, oh man, I like it. Anyways, this level's kinda it's just a bunch of unnecessary rooms that kinda connect all together, but yeah, it's whatever. This area with all the soldiers was kinda cool, as I could just ambush right up through all of them. It was pretty intense, even for the lowest difficulty. I found the golden key for this level on accident, even though I wasn't going for the secrets, and I don't know where it is, so I didn't bother anyway. Anyways, this level's kind of boring. It's just a bunch of rooms and then a long maze of some kind of... Listen, I don't care. Level 4 is an awful level. There's no way around that. Literally, the only way you can finish this level is by secrets. And there is like 50 secret walls in this level. Literally, the only way you can progress to the next room is by finding a secret push wall. And sometimes there isn't even a rat there to show you that it's a secret wall. On top of that, there's a lot of doors that just lead nowhere and just block you off for no reason. Like, dude. On top of that, there's a bunch of branching paths that go a lot of places but end up nowhere. So you're having high hopes for them, and it turns out you get absolutely nothing. Like, dude, this is a horrible level. I had to search up a walkthrough of this specific level just so I could move on to the next level. And I was always using the auto map just so I could see where everything was, and just, oh my god. And after I finally made it to the end, thanks to the walkthrough, I was devastated by the fact that the par time was 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And it took me 14 minutes. Are you serious? There is absolutely no competition. This level sucks. It's the worst one. Alright, the first boss of mission 2. However, in order to actually get to the boss, we need to get a key by going to a secret push wall, so... yeah, not a great start. However, once you unlock that key door, you immediately get to see the boss, Submarine Willie, and he looks like he came straight out of Team Fortress 2. Instead of 2 chain guns, he has 1 chain gun and a machine gun, which would technically make him weaker, but I guess it's just a design thing they wanted to do. I don't think it affects his damage in any way, though. This specific area of the map kind of feels like a hotel room in some cases, and I honestly kind of like this design. It's pretty interesting. Also, you wouldn't believe how happy I was when I had very little ammo and found that ammo pack, bro. That was very exciting. There's this infinite hallway of a bunch of Hitlers that goes in a zigzag line, and it's excessively long. Like, bruh. It's still going. I'm still doing this joke. There we go. It's done. There's also another area that kind of looks like a lab room of some sort, and again, this looks pretty cool. So far, the best parts about this game is its visuals, which that's not a good thing. So, I somehow managed to beat this level in under 45 seconds. I don't even know how, but Sure, why not? You know what, I'm kinda happy that that happened because I'd rather get this over with quickly than, continue playing this game. Dang, another massive maze? Alright, well, that sucks. And what makes this worse is that basically all of this map is the same wall texture, so it's pretty hard to tell where you're going without using the auto map. I believe this level also has a lot of secrets, but you don't actually need them to beat the level, so thank God for that. Once again, another pretty bad map, but not as bad as level 4. Definitely not. Okay, so I don't have anything for this map other than the fact that I managed to find a secret almost immediately, but either way, let's have a little minor nitpick here. So, in vanilla Wolfenstein 3D, whenever you pick up a chain gun, this sound effect plays. Then the sound effect changed in Spirit Destiny to sound like this. But then for these mission packs, they changed it again for some reason? Whatever, it's just a minor nitpick. Here we are on the second boss of Mission 2. Anyways, before you get to the boss fight, there's this random section that is very confusing, and there's some gold keys in here as well, but you can't actually get to any of them. This area is just a few enemies and that's it. You can't get any of the gold keys. And also, it's really confusing to get through in my opinion. In the end, you just need to find a secret push wall to activate the boss fight and get the gold key. And this time we have to fight Quarksblitz, I believe that's his name. He wields both a rocket launcher and a chain gun. That's not that creative anymore. We've seen quite a few bosses that have had that exact same trait. So far, these bosses aren't really doing it for me. Maybe the last 3 will be more interesting. So I believe I accidentally made an officer open up a locked door because on this specific room, it wouldn't make sense if one door was a locked door but the other one wasn't. I don't know, either way, I thought it was kind of funny. Also, I don't know how to exactly prove if that is a locked door or not because I can't find a single map for these expansion packs. It's just, I can't find any. Anyways, I believe there's like 2 rooms in this level that have a lot of enemies spread around the area. Kind of reminds me of the harder difficulties despite still being on the easiest difficulty, so Also, I have no idea how I keep doing this, but I somehow managed to beat levels in like under 2 minutes when the par time's like 6 minutes. Like, come on, dude. So I'm just gonna let you watch level 12 in its entirety. Alright, cool. Secret wall. Oh, okay, another secret wall. Wait, was that the exit on it? What? 19 seconds. And I literally got nothing. Okay, dude. For once, we actually have something new in this game. Bats. They're actually just reskins of the mutants, but because of that, that means they don't have a wake-up noise, which makes them even more annoying since it's a lot harder to see them. And they have mini chain guns, bro. That's honestly pretty sick. Oh yeah, I may or may not have gotten stuck on this level for a little bit of time. It was mainly just me being confused as to where to go, but oh well. This level wasn't fun to play, straight up. Alright. Okay, cool. Oh, rat, wait, hold on, let me see. Is there anything special here? Wait. I did it again! I did it again, are you kidding me? So yeah, that happened, but now on to level 15. This map is somewhat similar to E5M4, I believe. I don't even remember, it's been almost like 30 minutes since I've talked about episode 5. But it kind of reminds me of that level where all the rooms are somewhat similar and it kind of feels like you're going around in a circle. It's neat. There's also a lot of enemies in each room, so using your chain gun is very satisfying. And I didn't realize this until looking at the footage, but it seems like this is shaped like tic-tac-toe, and that's actually a really cool design, and it genuinely works out some way. Could this be it? Could this be the first decent level from this so far pretty bad expansion? Well, I mean, I don't have any more complaints, so yeah, I think this level's actually pretty decent. Good job whoever designed this. Alright, third boss. What do we got here? Alright, level's not bad so far. What
Who is that?
This is Hans von Schelven, also known as the Axe. And this dude has the sickest design out of all these bosses so far. Bro looked like he came right out of a sci-fi fighting game or something. The main thing about him is despite how big he is, he can still walk pretty fast. I think he's the same speed as Hitler or something, I'm not sure. He drops a key just like all the other bosses, but still, this has a really cool design, and it's kind of a shame that this design was only used for this game, at least from what I know. Well, back to immediately crapping on this game because this level also sucked. Now, I'm not going to discuss the level that much, I'm just going to explain why I hate this level. So there's this room with a golden key, but it's locked behind this area. But I eventually find out that you need some push walls to, get over to it. However, something I didn't realize is that when I used a very specific push wall, it went into the golden key, and because of that, I couldn't collect it anymore. And for this specific level, you need the golden key to proceed to the level. But since now it was impossible to get the golden key, and I killed all the enemies before, I couldn't proceed through the level, and I had to literally end my run. But because I had to end my run, that means I couldn't have fought in the last level, so yeah, that was very upsetting for me. So what was I gonna do? I managed to soft lock myself, and I couldn't proceed to the final level. Yeah, I took some footage. Shout out to this person for making this video 11 years ago. Alright, here we are, the final level. Again. Now, just like Spirit Destiny, this also has 2 bosses, so what does the first one look like? Oh wait, hold up, gotta get all this ammo. Wait, what the heck is that? Is that a robot? Yes, we have this very cool looking boss called Robot. Okay, not that creative. The way he works is that he shoots 2 rockets from the left side and the right side of you, so it's a bit hard to strafe away from them. So he's mechanically different from a lot of the other bosses that we've fought, which is always a nice change of pace. Once we finally kill him, he disintegrates? Okay, sure. No, wait, this again? I mean, yeah, the map does look like... Are the ghosts back again? Okay, so far this is pretty similar to the regular boss in Spirit Destiny. Is the final boss any different? Oh no. This is the Double Encartment, and while somewhat visually different, mechanic-wise, it's the exact same as the Angel of Death. Alright, it's cool, whatever, just show me the ending. Wait a second, isn't this the exact same as Spirit Destiny? You were found by LA forces under... I couldn't read that. Alright, well the ending is the exact same as Spirit Destiny. The ending even discusses about the Angel of Death even though you never fight him here. So yeah, overall this expansion was pretty bad if we're gonna be honest. Most of the levels were boring, big mazes, or just flat out bad with the one exception, like just because you have one decent level doesn't mean your game is better now. I believe if we would take 1/18 into a percentage, it would be 5.55 repeating, which is a terrible percentage from good to bad levels. I really doubt it, but hopefully this could be better with... Well, here we go, the final episode, Ultimate Challenge. Let's just play it. Level 1's fine. There's a lot more going on in this level compared to all the other level 1s we've played, but it's still just a nothing stage, really. In level 2, there's this one part of the map that made me believe that the elevator was right there, but no, it was just the entrance elevator. Anyways, not much else to talk about for this level. Here we are again with the levels that mix big rooms and a bunch of mazes together to, make a level. Although, this one isn't that bad. Anyways, since I don't have anything else to talk about for this level, I'd like to mention something kinda interesting that they changed. So, remember how the rats indicated the secrets in the second mission? Well, that has mostly changed into the skull with blood around it. That is now your indication that there's a secret around. I don't think I ever mentioned this when talking about Mission 2, but I really like this specific wall texture in my opinion. I really like the cobble and just the black to blue. It looks cool. While playing through this level, I accidentally found the elevator immediately, so hey, I'm not gonna complain. Alright, level 5. Here we are at our first boss level. I'm genuinely interested as to what new bosses we have, because these bosses have been pretty interesting so far. But before we see the boss, I like to mention this ugly wall texture. Like that, this looks terrible. Anyways, about the boss, Submarine Willie, who looks like he came straight out of Team 4. Wait, hold on, isn't this the exact same boss from Mission 2? Submarine Willie, and he looks like he came straight out of Team Fortress 2. It is the same. I even did the exact same joke. Okay, well, maybe there are some different bosses. It's just the first one's the same. Alright, level 10. Nope, that's the same. He's still the same old homeless dude. Okay. Level 16. Okay, we get to see this dude again. That's cool, but it's the exact same. Alright, final level. What does this look like? Yep, that's the robot, alright. And let me guess, you collect the Spear of Death. Yep. I mean, okay, yeah, the level design is a lot more different. It looks a lot more different. There's, a lot of these pumpkin-looking backpacks. I swear, if the final boss is the same, I'm quitting. Are you kidding me? It's the devil incarnate once again. The ending's the same. I'm done. Now, I know I really did just skip past this entire mission, but you wanna know why? That's because I was bored throughout the entirety of it. Even if I talked about all of the other levels, this video would only be like 3 minutes longer, because there's nothing else to talk about. Instead of the levels being straight up bad, they're just boring, and yeah, I don't care anymore. So, what did we learn in the end? Well, I don't know.